So glad you're here with us.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm hungry and I want to eat, but we are doing this just to show that you can have, you look forward to holiday living without indulgence that comes from making that association that cheating or slipping or eating indulgent foods and having that momentary pleasure is opposed to our health promoting our health. So we want to make delicious health promoting food so that we don't spend the next 6 months after the holidays, trying to make up for what we ate between, probably Halloween and Christmas. Because I know that's what I did last year.
Yes, and what you gain in this 1 month, people spend all year trying to lose,
Yes.
And then they gain more the next time around, so it's not worth it. But that's just the weight side of it. What about all of the symptoms that you experience throughout the year because you overate? And actually, those symptoms start immediately, right? Like the next day, if not a few hours within eating, you start to notice more pains because you're eating a lot of salt or the
Inflammation.
weight you
I
feel.
noticed inflammation right away. My ankles, my feet, and my hands.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Hello.
Hi, Rose. Thanks for popping in.
Let us know where you guys are joining us from. If you're in the kitchen, maybe even prepping food or starting to meal plan for the holidays, get your recipes together. Let us know what you're doing this weekend. Or maybe you're just outside enjoying the beautiful weather.
It's a beautiful day.
Let us know where you're joining us from, and or what you're doing this weekend, what you're doing today. And
Hi, Cheryl.
Shared these recipes, the 4 recipes we're making. I shared in the email I sent out this morning. I know John didn't get the recipes out to you guys. I didn't get them to him in time. So those recipes we're going to post in the comments here. Once I get our kind of entree started, I'll get you the recipes in the comments. I want to make sure we get it going though.
Hi, Heather, Valerie, Joanne. Thanks for popping in.
Hello.
Pat.
Happy holidays. Just a week away. If you're in America, we'll be enjoying Thanksgiving. So glad you're here. And if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, this meal is a great one to enjoy anytime. And actually, we're doing lentil balls. Instead of meatballs, we're doing a meat-free version. They're going to be made with lentils and veggies. So this is actually not just a holiday meal. Of course, it's very different from a big turkey on the table. We're just having these little veggie balls, but they're so packed with flavor, and we're going to put them over mashed potatoes with a gravy sauce and some cranberry sauce. So it's going to be yummy. And who doesn't love veggie balls, meatball replacements any time of the year? So
that's right.
Hello, Cheryl.
Angie, Beverly, Pat, Laura.
Welcome. So I have a bit of our food already prepped, so we can kind of go through this fast because there's a lot I want to share with the actual recipes. And we have more to talk about with the holidays, the pleasure trap, and socializing during the holidays and not letting your values fall. So, will the recipe? Yes, Ellen, I'm going to make all of the recipes available in the comments. It's just going to take a moment, so I want to get our food started first. And in the replay, we'll send out an email with the recipes as well.
Yep.
The recording. So, let's get started. We're going to make these. John can help me in reading our recipes. I actually have them printed out here so we can go through them easily. Normally, I don't print my recipes. I just use them from the computer, but because I have this live going, it'll be easier for us to read the recipes printed. So they're all here. And if you ever notice the Plant Street logo at the top, that was my old business name, Plant Street Culinary Gym. So now it's just the Culinary Gym. All right. So we're going to, if you want to kind of walk people through these steps, I'm going to be prepping, but you can kind of guide me.
All right.
Because once you know your recipes, once you know how to make something, it's so easy to just go with the flow instinctually, intuitively, prepare the dish rather than actually follow the recipe. And a lot of times it works out fine, and then a few other times it could slightly alter the dish, understandably. You make it put it together in a different order, and it will still taste great, but it could get confusing for people trying to watch or follow along. So
Kevin is saying, remember to keep breathing.
yeah. I actually have a really hard time deep breathing. Part of it is my scoliosis. My spine is compact a little bit, and so I can get headaches easily. And of course, just not breathing gets you stressed out. And I'm talking a little fast, it seems. Thanks, Kevin.
Hi, Selena. Hi, Selena. Was that you posting in the Facebook page that we're going to be posting the recipes? Thank you. It just shows up as I Thrive, so you might just want to say Selena. Selena's on there. If we miss some questions, she'll make sure that we get to them. And in some of you are watching from the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Selena, you're fantastic. Selena, if you wouldn't mind posting those in my YouTube channel as well, that would be really great. Thank you.
Excellent.
So first things first, we have our veggies to go onto the stove top. Before they go in the lentil balls, we're going to cook our veggies, our onions, mushrooms, and garlic so that they are a little bit more balanced flavor, not as strong of a bite. And
6 ounces of onion chopped, that's one medium onion. 8 ounces of criminy mushrooms.
So we have an onion here already chopped up, and I'm going to add our mushrooms. John beautifully sliced these mushrooms for us.
And 4 cloves of garlic.
And the garlic we need to chop.
Can you mince those?
John loves garlic, me not so much. So I'm going to give that job to John.
All right.
But before we go there, this is going to go on the stove top, no water added. Over medium-high heat, I'm going to make sure that I stir it so it doesn't burn on the bottom, and we keep the lid on to keep all of the moisture from the vegetables in the pan.
All right, can we show them?
Oh, yes.
Which one?
Let's see. So, I've got a new little switchboard here. Let's see, we go to eCam, and then phone. Let's see if that switches. There you go.
All right,
So
there they
this
are.
is our mushrooms on the stove top with the onion, and I have it over medium-high heat. We just got to check it occasionally, make sure we're stirring it. Okay, back to the garlic. We have...
Do I get to do this?
Yes, but let's walk them through.
How about they walk them through? Can you guys see my finger healing? Let me get it.
Kind of focus.
Those are dissolving stitches. I had 6 stitches in my finger from the last time I was cutting actually mushrooms. And I almost cut the whole tip of my finger off. So one of the things I've got to remember, my knife skills.
Very dangerous.
Right?
If you're not present with a knife. Even if you have good knife skills, which John doesn't have bad knife skills, but he's got to be present.
And Katie May was rushing me. She said,
Wait,
make them smaller.
Before you do that, go on. Okay, you also, see what John just did to open those? Just pushed on the bottom of the knife, or the side of the knife with his hand. I once had a slippery cutting board, slippery knife, and I was rushing as well, and I slipped here and cut myself right here. You can see that scar. And I was home alone, and if that would have went just a millimeter over, I would have hit a big artery, and it would have been very problematic. So don't use the knife to do that. Instead, use the bottom of a jar.
Okay, let's do that again. Let's try that again. Bottom of a jar.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
And then you can mince those up. And we're going to do garlic in our mushroom gravy as well as these lentil balls. So if you want to chop all of this, mince it all.
So this is what I learned in your knife skills class on PC 101, to keep my fingers out of the whole line of fire.
And depending on what you're doing, with items where you're mincing it really small like this, you're actually, it's called pivoting the knife by keeping the tip in the one spot and then moving the blade, the rest of the knife kind of in a circular motion, half moon motion. You can keep the hand on top to hold that blade kind of in a semi-steady position. And notice he's making, when he's scraping the board, it's actually making quite a bit of noise. You can hear it scraping because he's actually scraping the board. You don't want to do that.
Oh, you don't want to do what I'm doing.
No, you just, because that ruins the bottom, it ruins the blade of the knife, it dulls it.
Okay.
So if you actually turn it, wait, just do this. Instead of this way, turn it like this, and you can bring it all back together and then go through it again.
All right.
Okay.
So turn it upside down.
Mm-hmm.
How fine do you want
So that's
these?
good. We're going to put half of this into the mushroom and onion, and the other half will go into our gravy.
All right.
There you go.
Turn it over.
Put it in, split that in half. We'll do this. And I always bring the cutting board over so I don't get any of our food on the floor. And you put that back on the stovetop. Could you put that back on the stovetop?
Yep.
Stir it a little bit.
I think
Okay.
it needs more garlic.
Yes, you will. You can do more garlic if you like, or leave it at what it is. Look how good that looks. So notice that we added the garlic after the onion and mushroom. The garlic and onion needs to start cooking to kind of put some moisture in that pan. With only the garlic added, if you add the garlic first as you would do if you were using olive oil, the garlic will burn because we're not using oil. So you want the moisture from the veggies first. Okay,
There's no oil or water in this pan.
now put the lid back on. We'll keep that moisture in the pan. Hello, Jackie and Minton, Donna. Oh, I'm a little behind in my comments. Thanks, Rose. We're trying to get our setup. Rose likes the cool switch to the cameras, between the cameras. Minton says too much information. You know what? We're trying to go through kind of some helpful tips and techniques here for you guys, but the course that we're going to be talking about in a little bit actually will break this down a lot more. We'll give you a lot more depth and time to go through everything. You get video trainings with me, over 40 video trainings that are pre-recorded, so you can go at your own pace. And then John and I are actually going to be in the kitchen once a week.
Once a week, helping you batch
prepping
cook.
just like this on Sundays. And we'll be doing our batch cooking, inspiring you to do your batch cooking. Can the mushrooms be portobello? Of course, any type of mushroom. In our gravy, we're actually going to add shiitake, cremini, and portobello mushrooms. That mixture is really great for giving you even more flavor.
Rose says I need one of those chainmail gloves for Christmas.
It's not a bad idea. It's a great idea for anyone starting off to get a cut glove. When you're working in a commercial kitchen, if you're using a knife, you should be wearing a cut glove. I actually have two in the garage. So next time we'll pull those out and show you what those are. But those are fantastic for keeping your hands safe.
Cutting board. Show them your new cutting board and what it is.
This board is a teak. So it's not, is teak wood? Teak is a special material, all sustainable. It's very sustainable material. It's beautiful. It was about $50 for this size board. That is a fantastic deal. It might be, I think it's 1.5 inches tall and maybe 18 by 24 inches wide, or maybe a little less than that, but this board is fantastic for the price. The next boards, the most popular boards in the commercial world, which is kind of what we want to do if you have the space and money to buy for your kitchen, because we are doing a plant-based diet. There's so much volume and we're using it so frequently that you want good quality. So John Boo's is the one that is very popular in commercial kitchens, and I love it too, but it's more expensive. So this teak board is really my first recommendation. And if you look on Amazon for teak board, you'll find it.
They're saying that I need a chef's jack again, but I haven't earned it.
Oh, after he graduates from PC 101.
All right.
Hi, Diderico. We met in California. When do we meet? Where do we meet? At True North? So glad you joined us in PC 101. And John, have you shared the link for them to join if they want to do that right now while we're on the call? Because we're going to be talking about some bonuses, and you're getting $100 off if you join today.
This one right here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to stir our mushrooms.
Yeah, Selena, if you have the link too, if you could post it too, just so I don't mess up here.
Hit the food button, babe, on that thing. Look at these mushrooms and onions. Now you start to see all that juice from the veggies. It's looking so good. I'm going to turn down the heat. I am actually going to turn off the heat because this is exactly what we want. But if you could do a big pot of these, say in like a soup pot even, a lot more of them, these are great to batch cook and have on hand throughout the week. They could go in so much, from soup to stir fry.
When's the course starting?
You can start today if you want to, but John and I are going to be going through it. John and I are going to be going through it ourselves again. I'm actually going to be going through it myself to add more tips and support you guys in it. December 2nd. December 2nd is the Monday after. We'll probably start December 1st. The Monday, Sunday after Thanksgiving. So you can start right away. If you want to get access today, you can log in and start prepping so that you're really ready to go December 1st with us. How do I see comments? My iPad says the comments are turned off. Honestly, I don't have an iPad, so I'm not familiar with that. But
Selena, could you help her with that?
If there's any settings, you could turn the comments on. Selena would be great if you could help. Okay, so let's move on. We've got our lentils already cooked. These lentils.
Dan and Pam signed up last night.
Yay!
We can't wait to see you in there. Dan, where are you guys from? What city?
These are green lentils, and they're actually French green lentils, but any green or brown lentil will work in this dish. And this is going to be our protein-rich food, but also the kind of the bulk of our lentil bowls. Okay, so these are going to go into our food processor. I have a big food processor here. Let me show you. So this is a 14-cup food processor, and we're going to add all of our ingredients right in here so we can process it together. This is how you would make a veggie burger, except we're going to make veggie balls instead. Let's follow the recipe too. If you
Everyone wants to know about your scan pan.
The scan pan is fantastic. Did you tell them how to spell it? You put in scan pan?
No, I don't know how to spell it. I just said scan pan.
It's all one word, I think, but that's spelled right at least. We're adding in lentils here. The scan pan is a healthy, non-stick cookware, and it's not cheap, but for one pan that you use multiple times a day, I use it at least once, maybe 2 or even 3 times a day, you want to invest in it. It's only $150 or so. Get the large one, between at least 11 inches if you're one person. If you're 2 people, I would go 12 to 14 inches. The bigger, the better. Okay, so we're going to add our ingredients. John?
Do you have this that they can switch to?
Oh. Yeah, let's set it up. Do you want to see the recipe?
Yeah, let's show them the recipe.
Just hit recipe there. And that's the only one I don't have open, so let's put it up.
We're just using a new system here where we can just pop in the recipe.
Hit recipe?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. You went to internet. I had that.
Oh, it said recipe.
Yeah, I switched them. Okay, so here's the recipe we're making. I'm adding the pecans now. You don't need to dice these up first because they're all going into the food processor. Can you follow along?
Yep.
What's next?
We are in transfer.
No, here. The oats. We need oats over there. You can grab those, open them up, and we're going to do half a cup of rolled oats.
Okay. Just 1 cup.
Yeah, so that's actually a little less. That's good. So I'm adding half a cup of oats. What else here? Flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of that, babe.
2 tablespoons.
If I have taken Plant-Based Cooking 101 earlier this year, you can take it again, exactly. So we put out this video. I didn't send this video to my whole email list because we wanted people that already knew John and were already kind of in my community as well, because you guys get kind of special treatment. So if you haven't joined us, you can join us and sign up right now for PC 101. But if you're already in it, you can go through again.
Flaxseed.
2 tablespoons. It's better to actually use a tablespoon measurement, but this is half a tablespoon, so we do 3 of those. We've already done 1, I'll do 3 more. And Delicious Living members, if you're in my membership, Delicious Living, you actually get an extra bonus off of the course. So if you're in Delicious Living and want to join us for PC 101, which is a 6-week foundational course for plant-based cooking without the sugar, oil, salt, or even the flour, so it's the best of the best, you can join us and click the link from the top of your Delicious Living member portal. Okay, so sign in, go to Delicious Living, and at the top of the page, there's your link, which is a little bit more of a bonus to join us.
How are the lentils cooked?
Hi, Diane. The lentils were just cooked in the Instant Pot. So we fully cooked them. You could do them on the stovetop or in the Instant Pot.
Want to show them this?
Then we want to show them this, and we're going to keep adding more things. So
Okay.
mustard and tamarind, mustard and apple cider vinegar. Hi, Road Queen. Are you a traveler? Where do you like to go? It sounds like you're a traveler. Oh, wrong one. Laptop is the one that shows us this thing. Oh, you want to do it that way. Phone. There you go. So I'm going to, thanks for doing that. And I can focus on adding ingredients. We're going to add our apple cider vinegar.
How much was that?
We are adding 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar.
Estimating there. We've just recently moved, and that means with all my work going on, I'm still unpacking my kitchen stuff. I have so much kitchen stuff, and my I don't have all my measuring spoons here. I do recommend a wood cutting board. It's so much better than plastic. The plastic can get a lot of bacteria in it, bubbles, so definitely a wood cutting board. How do you sharpen the knife? We don't have time to do that right now, but that's something we're going to be talking about in the first week of PC 101, knife sharpening. Hi Peggy from Seattle. So I'm going to add our stone ground mustard here. We've got this guy, no salt added. I'm going to do 1 tablespoon, and I have again half a tablespoon measurement, so I'm kind of doing 2 of those. And I'm adding a no salt seasoning called Benson's Table Tasty. Benson's Table Tasty is just herbs, spices, some dried vegetables, but it's got kind of a lot of sodium in it, not too much, but a little richer than just your standard spice. The only thing is it's kind of like garlic granules where it can get dry and hard, so I don't love using this, but the flavor is really fantastic. And we're going to do half a tablespoon of this. If you don't have this, or if you just prefer, you can use tamari or coconut aminos, but those are actually have salt added, so I prefer the no salt seasoning. Any no salt seasoning will work. Benson's Table Tasty has to be purchased on Amazon or from their website. They don't sell it in the stores.
Is there a time limit for the course?
No, not to complete it. You have lifetime access, although we do encourage people to stay with us, but you can access and go at your own pace. So,
but we're going to be going with the group because it'll be fun if we do it all together.
Yes, exactly. So 1 week per module, but if you need to spend a little bit more time on a module, you can always go back to it, okay? And like I said, the people who are already in PC 101 can join us for this next version. So even if you go through it right now with us and then you want to do it again in January when you might have even more time and motivation, you know, you just want to go deeper, then you could do that too.
All right, is this ready?
Tamarind paste. This gives us a little tang. And if you don't have all of these ingredients, you could leave something out, but each of them kind of adds more flavor to this dish. Tamarind is it's a fruit, I think. It looks like it's kind of a mixture of ginger and a bean. It's like, or a vanilla bean and ginger. But that's how you buy it. Tamarind paste is the easiest way to use it. You can actually buy the whole tamarind and snack on it, but I wouldn't use that for cooking. Anything else? We have a couple of seasonings. We're going to do thyme and sage. Half a tablespoon. We're going to get a new measuring spoon because that one's pretty dirty. And we're doing half a tablespoon of thyme. This is a heaping teaspoon, which is the same as half a tablespoon. And then we're going to do the same with our sage.
And you guys, Selena has posted the recipe where you can refer to the PDF file in the comments.
Thank you for that, Selena. And if you have any questions, too, you can ask here. But if for some reason, if you're just joining the recording and you're not catching us live and you have a question, just email me at support@theculinaryGym.com.
They were saying the jar tip is great since I've always done the knife thing. Drag the knife across the board.
Man, this, I'm trying to open our little red pepper flakes. There we go. I don't normally buy spices like this, but I was in a bit of a rush. So organic spices I try to always get, but I usually get them in the bulk section at the grocery store. This I had to buy in the jars. But I'll actually transfer this from the jar into a mason jar like this, because I'd like it better that way. Okay. We're going to blend this up now. And our onion and mushrooms need to be added as well, but I'm going to process this for a minute first.
Hi, Barbara. She just joined us. Welcome. Barbara, there's a couple posts there for the recipes and the Plant-Based Cooking 101 course, and we're just making up this paste for these Swedish meatballs.
So, our flax.
So you just pulsed that a couple times.
I told you, if you don't read the recipes, you kind of put this together. You might put it together in a different way, and that's what happened.
What did we miss?
I forgot the flaxseed.
No, I put it in.
Oh, you did put it in. But we didn't do it in the order. So normally I would mix the flaxseed with the vinegar, and that just allows it to get a little more gelatinous, but we added it here and it's fine. But that might have been confusing if anyone was following the recipe. So we're going to transfer this to a big bowl so I can fit the onion and the mushroom in separately. I don't want to, if I put the onion and mushroom in here, it won't fit. It'll be too high up, and then the blade won't reach the onion and mushroom as easily. So we're going to, let me just go back to put this in our bowl here. And then we'll put, if you have any large pieces, like here I have a big pecan that didn't get cut up, I'm going to keep it inside our container here. So pick out a couple of those pecans and put them back in here.
Put them back in here?
Mm-hmm. Because you don't want to over-process your lentils. You want to have a little bit of, and the oats in there, you want to have a little bit of chunkiness.
Oh, someone asked how we made the lentils. We made them last night.
We made them in the Instant Pot. Here, put that stuff in it. And then I'll tell you more about the lentils in a minute, but we got to put this back on our processor so that I can put more food in it. You can't add the food until it's actually kind of connected and in place here. Now we're going to add our onion and mushroom. And is there any nutritional yeast in there? No, there's not. So our nutritional yeast is going to go into our gravy, but I was just thinking if you want even more flavor in here, not that you need it, but a little nutritional yeast could be added here too. Say if you didn't have something else, if you didn't have the tamarind or you didn't have one of the spices and you wanted to add more flavor, you could add a little nutritional yeast. So I'm going to have John get our onion and garlics going in here. We're just going to add this to the bowl, to our pan here, and get this going on the stove top so that it will be ready for our gravy when we want to do that. All right, we'll go back to our lentils. We're going to process this up really quick. Again, it is all gluten-free. As long as you start with gluten-free oats, this recipe is technically gluten-free. But if you wanted to do it without oats, you could also do quinoa flakes, or quinoa flour if you grind the whole quinoa into a flour, or you could do more flaxseed. Did I say that? More flaxseed for the quinoa. Or even rice if you wanted to do rice instead of the oats too.
I'm just going to show them real quick what I'm doing.
Okay, go ahead. So John's stirring up the onion and garlic, and it should be, is it over medium heat?
Yeah, about like that.
Now, the garlic is added, yep, that looks good. The garlic is added before the onions are moist, which means you got to be careful not to burn the garlic. So just a little extra stirring there. And we have our oven already set to 375. We're baking at 375. And it's not a convection oven, so just normal 375. I'm glad you're enjoying watching, Laura. It's so much fun doing this too. I like having John as an assistant. We like cooking together, so it's going to be a lot of fun to do this every week with you. I've been doing a Delicious Living with Katie May, a weekly cooking show on my own on Thursdays, but John and I in the kitchen together is going to be extra fun. We're doing that as a bonus to PC 101. So we have a few bonuses. That's one of them. John and I in the kitchen for a batch cooking session every Sunday. And then we're also giving you a video that we did earlier this year. We recorded a video of our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh, say hi. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a video so that you guys can see what we eat on a regular basis as well. Especially helpful if you guys are just getting started with a plant-based diet, or you're looking to make it even more nutrient dense, because that's what we do. We use the most nutritious foods and make them flavorful and easy to do. So that's the second bonus, breakfast, lunch, and dinner with John and I. And then the third, there's another bonus, dessert cookbook. It has over 60 whole food plant-based dessert recipes. I'm going to be giving that to you guys. And the last one is probably my favorite bonus. It's the Core Meal Masterclass. The Core Meal Masterclass teaches you how to make core meals. If you got the beans and greens recipe and you liked that, well, you're going to love the Core Meal Masterclass, because it's 10 different core meals and a video of me teaching you how to use the template, how to use that core meal. And you get all of the templates, 10 core meal templates. So look at our mixture here. Now we're just going to shape this batter, this meatball mixture, into little balls. Okay, you could actually make this into a loaf as well. Let's do both.
Here, listen to this, what Nancy said. Would you say this dish is based in Swedish cuisine or Indian, or would you call it fusion? And could you talk about the culinary word fusion?
Yes. I wouldn't say Indian. We don't really have much here.
No curry.
I mean, I guess the lentils would be Indian, yes. No curry. We have red pepper flakes. But I would definitely say more European with the herbal, the thyme and poultry seasoning. It's got the kind of, not European as much as the, European influence coming into America, right, for Thanksgiving. the poultry seasoning. We didn't use poultry seasoning in the meatballs, but we're using this in the gravy. And we have sage and thyme in the meatballs, which is 2 of the ingredients in poultry seasoning. So it's more of a Thanksgiving style, which would be American, European influence.
So that's a real multicultural fusion, right?
It's a fusion.
What's fusion from the
So
culinary
fusion
world?
Is mixing 2 different cuisines. Like often you'll see like a Mexican and American fusion. Burritos would be a fusion of American and Mexican cuisine. You have a lot of different fusion that we don't even think about dishes being fusion dishes just because they are so normal to us now. This would be, it's kind of a fusion not only of maybe a little bit of the Indian if you're thinking about the lentils, and the European, but also plant-based. The plant-based cuisine is its own cuisine nowadays, and so whenever we do kind of an ethnic dish and make it plant-based, we're fusing that ethnic traditional version and the plant-based version, or plant-based foods. Does that make sense? So a lot of times the fusion works out really well and you develop more flavors and more variety, and we love it. Occasionally it can go really wrong. One time I made lentils with pizza spice seasoning. I was trying to actually make it a pizza flavored lentil dish, and I totally butchered it. Did not go well together.
Someone was asking about gluten-free. Kevin.
I told them it was gluten-free.
Oh, it was.
Was it another? So this garlic, you got to remove the garlic from the stove top. The onion and garlic is done, ready, but if you keep letting it go, it's going to, here you show them here. The garlic's going to get too dark. You can get out.
All right, so where we?
Put that aside on the stove top, back on the stove top without the heat. Parchment paper on here. Okay, so we're going to make these balls shape them into the balls and into a little loaf and see how that turns out. So John, you want to do that over here? That would be great. Good. Hello, Debbie. Busy around the home, but listening. Glad you're listening and able to multitask, even though they say it's technically not a thing we do. We try, but we can't really multitask, right?
No.
Didn't you just read that? The sign for that?
We just can switch from one thing to another a lot, but it wastes a lot of time.
Parchment paper here on our tray, instead of oil, and no butter, no oil, we just use a little parchment paper, or a silicone pad would work as well. If you could get me one more parchment paper, we'll put it in this pan. A little bit, just a little bit smaller. Look how we do this. After I'll show you. So I'm going to cut. We're going to cut the edges, corners of this. So we're going to fit our parchment paper into this pan by cutting the corners, just like this. Cut a corner here. And now we can push this down and it's going to overlap in the corners. So we'll do the same on this edge. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Anne is saying tamarind is indigenous to Africa, also found in other tropical areas, popular in Indian cuisine, and I've had it in Mexico and South America.
Yes, I forgot about the tamarind. That's definitely not a European ingredient. And the reason I add the tamarind is because it adds a little tang and sweetness. Just makes the meatballs a little more exciting because we're not using salt. We're not having a lot of salt added, so it kind of brightens up these lentil balls. You notice I'm just cutting off the extra parchment paper here so it doesn't burn in the oven.
I just want to say hi, Nita. Nita Haddad has joined us. Debbie Springer. Yes, she's saying it's an easy recipe. It looks easy to me, but that's because Katie May's making it. Leska.
Whenever you're talking and demoing, it might look a little more complicated because we're all over the place, especially we're doing multiple recipes, but it really is easy. So I'm going to have John shape these little balls.
Okay.
We'll take our little batter here.
Leska wants to know what our most essential meal prep tool is.
Most essential.
Chef's knife.
Absolutely, a chef's knife and a large wood cutting board. Those little balls.
That's one of the first things you go over in the course, are
yes,
all the essential.
Yes, I give you a handout of all the essential equipment pieces that I use. So John's going to do all this, and then we'll while you do that.
Well, let me wash my hands.
I'm going to make our little.
Wet?
It helps if you can kind of occasionally rinse them again. So if you have a towel,
okay,
like a paper towel right by you. So I'm going to add some of this to our loaf pan here. Make this into a loaf. Hi, Pamela. Pam, lost pets of... I'm not really... What's that mean, lost pets? You see? What's on Facebook? I'm not really...
She says, sorry, I'm really lost. Please explain,
really lost.
Or I'm not really lost. I don't know.
Sorry, Pamela, I'm not sure what
Pamela,
you're saying.
retype that.
Thank you, Peggy from Seattle. Who's around next Saturday? Next Saturday after Thanksgiving, John and I
tell them when we start.
are going to be, well, I'm wondering if we can meet people in Seattle, if you want to have a meal out in Seattle. We won't, or if anyone wants to open up their home to a potluck, not a big one, but my parents live over on the coast, or not on the coast, they live in Holsbo, where we're going to be staying, and that is too far away for people. I don't want to invite you guys to have to take a ferry over there to join us. So if we come into Seattle on Saturday, it would be fun to meet up.
Oh, Pamela, that was a typo, she said.
Terry says, yes, we're in Seattle. Where should we meet? What's a great plant-based restaurant? I know some vegan restaurants.
Let's meet at the vegan bakery.
Flying Apron. He's talking about Flying Apron in Fremont. I'm going to add some more here. That's a dangerous spot. That's a dangerous spot.
It is dangerous, especially around the holidays.
Oh, you know, I thrive. This restaurant is fabulous. It's not very big, but it's in Ballard. I think they moved locations. Sorry for anyone who's not local, but I love meeting people in person. So, Terry, there's a place, a raw food restaurant. I used to work there. It used to be called Thrive Cafe, and now it's called Heartbeat Cafe in Ballard. And that would be really fun to go to. We know the owner. I used to work there, and Monica's the owner, so fabulous. Heartbeat Cafe.
That'd be perfect. Oh.
What?
Hold on. Just
Holly
Holly
says,
Sidwell. She started the course. Holly's in the UK. She's a little lost. What part are you lost on? Just give us a quick orientation and summary. Bring us up to speed of where we're at.
Yeah. I was going to say, so we are making Swedish lentil balls. We've got John making the balls, shaping the balls here, and I've made a little bit of it into a loaf as well. Saves you some time from making the balls, and it's just nice to have variety. And the loaf might be better for placement on a Thanksgiving table as well. We're also going to make a mushroom gravy and a big salad and mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. So we've got a lot to do, but there's so much to say, and I love connecting. So we've got a lot going. You guys can always come back and watch the replay if you have to step out.
Oh, she's...
And we're talking about Plant-Based Cooking 101, which is my online course. We're going to be starting that December 1st, December 2nd, the Sunday, Monday after Thanksgiving. So right away, if you guys want to join us, we'd love to have you go through it with us. But it's all self-paced, so you can go at your own pace. You don't have to be working on it through the holidays if you don't want to, but we encourage people to, because you don't want to slide backwards and have to kind of start again in January.
Yeah, start now, so you're not spending the 6 months, the first 6 months of the year, trying to undo everything that you did between Halloween and, you know, it's just such a vicious cycle.
Let's talk more about the, Heartbeat Healthy. It's called, that's their website, Heartbeat Healthy. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Who shared? I missed it. Was that Tammy?
Yeah, I think so.
John, do you still have neuropathy?
It's
Selena
slow. Yeah, I still have it, but it's still healing. I like to say that it's getting better and better, and it's healing. These issues of diabetes and obesity, they're really serious, you know, and I did a lot of damage to my feet, and so I still can't feel them to the touch sensation, but I can feel that I'm getting more strength and more balance and more control, because I was starting to really lose control. They were withering, actually. Someone was asking about other people enjoying
glad
this
you're
meal.
loving PC 101 already too. Thank you. I'm so glad you're there. We are going to be, after the holidays, we'll be a lot more active in the community as well. So glad you're there and you're already enjoying.
Someone wanted to know if this could be enjoyed by people who were not vegan or SOS.
Oh, of course. And you know, I mentioned that we're not adding any salt, but you can definitely add salt if you want to make it a little more palatable for yourself,
if it's going to somebody
or to anyone else. Yeah. You know, we're all in different spots in our journey, and if
show my meatballs.
A little bit of salt is going to make it more flavorful, because it does bring out more of the flavor, then by all means go ahead and add a little bit. These beautiful veggie balls or lentil balls, I could say meat-free balls, are going into the oven. John did a great job. We've got one that's really big and one really small, but overall they're very consistent in size.
Oh, I do. Oh, I messed up there.
Yes, you'll be able to watch this and PC 101 whenever it works for you.
That was the last one in the bowl. That's all that was left.
Perfect. You did a great job.
No, it wasn't very even. But it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Isn't that my song?
Okay, so
thank you, Peggy.
Next up, we want to show them the mashed potatoes. Should we do that?
Okay.
Or should we finish our gravy? Let's do the gravy first, since we already started that. What about me? Am I inspiring? No, I'm just kidding. But John's come so long, such a long way in just 2 years.
Could we make patties out of those?
Yes, you can make patties.
And you'd have little burgers and freeze them, right?
Yeah, you know what I like to do is sliders. Instead of calling them burgers where you expect it to be on a bun, I like doing sliders where they're a little bit smaller and you can put a few of them into a salad.
So yours is really complicated. So the meatballs I was making, you just take your fist and go, and you have sliders.
I would use the palm of your hand so you don't smash it too much. To print the recipe, if you go to those links, there's a button kind of near the bottom underneath the recipe, and that will open up a PDF and you can download it. Thanks, Maureen. Maureen, you're amazing too. All of you guys, it seriously takes so much commitment to be standing up for yourself and reclaiming your health. And I don't say that to be a turnoff, but I say that as kudos for being here. It's huge that you guys are even showing up to learn how to do this. And whether you're just dipping your toes in or you're already fully plant-based, I just want to say thank you, because you doing it makes the world a better place for us too. It's kind of, we all help each other whenever we're adopting a healthier lifestyle.
Hey Selena, would you repost the links every once in a while, because they're scrolling up and people kind of can't find them? So just every once in a while in the feeds, in YouTube and Facebook, post those.
Yes, you could burger size the patties and put gravy over it. And if you want to do this over quinoa or rice instead of over mashed potatoes, you could do that. Or over squash, butternut squash. You could do like butternut squash steaks kind of, or cauliflower steaks. You could do so much. So obviously there's a lot to cover. I hope you join PC 101 so we can talk about it more.
Here's a
right
couple
now
more
we're
questions.
going to do the gravy. Let me get started on the
Okay.
gravy, and then John will give me questions as I'm doing it. But we have the gravy recipe. Let me show you really quick. You go to the recipe page, and we'll give you oh no, I forgot I moved that around. Okay, hold with me. You see where we are right now? This is not what I want to be showing you, but I'm just going to flip something so that doesn't happen again. I think that might work. Okay. So here's our recipe. We've got this creamy mushroom gravy. We're going to add the onion, if you wouldn't mind adding our onion and garlic to the blender here.
Onion and garlic in the blender.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we're going to add in our mushrooms. But our mushrooms need to be cooked first. So these are going to go on the stove top, but I don't want to burn our garlic. So I'm having him take the onion and garlic off out of that pan. But if we were not busy talking with you, I would have actually added the mushrooms with the onion and garlic. Okay, so we have here is a mixture. We're going to do portobello and shiitake, these little guys, shiitake, and some cremini. Okay, see the difference with the cremini and shiitake? You can do any mushrooms, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm just going to chop up some of these mushrooms.
Okay, I've got the onions and garlic I was cooking in the Vitamix.
Okay, great. Let's go back to showing us. I'll show you my mushrooms chopped as John adds some more to our to the blender. We're going to add the rest of our ingredients.
Onions and garlic.
Oh, celery. We have celery here. Could you hand me
Celery?
that celery too? I'm going to cook up some celery with the mushrooms in here.
Cook up or blend?
Cook. We're going to cook them just so that they have even better flavor. But if
Okay.
you wanted to do this all raw, you could, although I don't recommend it. So water. John's going to add 1 1/4 cup of water.
Okay.
3/4 cup
1 1/4 cup of water.
cashews. We have cashews here. We're still lost. I'm still setting up the kitchen, I should say. And John's actually going back and forth between kitchens, so he's less familiar with our two kitchens. Less familiar with the new kitchen. Thank you, Andrea. God bless you too. Andrea says she's met me at True North in 2017. That's a couple years ago. And John came after me, so you haven't gotten a chance to meet yet. But glad you're here, Andrea. Okay, you follow this so I can chop my mushrooms. He's going to do nutritional yeast, rice vinegar, poultry seasoning, and black pepper.
Did you put
And I put the
cashews on
cashews
it
on.
already? So 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast.
And we'll do this kind of, you can show him what the nutritional yeast looks like.
1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast.
That gives it a cheesy flavor.
That's 3 teaspoons.
Lots of umami.
Okay.
Lots of umami. And we're going to talk all about umami. I just love the topic of umami, which is the savory taste. So we'll talk about that in Module 3 of PC 101.
A tablespoon of rice vinegar. Where's the rice vinegar?
He's going to use apple cider vinegar instead of rice vinegar. Okay.
1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Could I have a tablespoon instead of a teaspoon?
We don't have any tablespoons.
Why?
We have half a tablespoon. Like I said, our kitchen
Where's
is
the
still...
tablespoons?
Apologies to John and you guys.
It's a half a tablespoon, so 2 of these. One,
Like I said, we're in between moving. And my kitchen isn't fully set up yet. I'm missing some of my pieces. So we have a big pan, scan pan here. We used a couple times already, but if you're just joining us, this is a non-stick pan. We're adding I just did the portobello mushrooms. I'm going to chop up the rest.
Okay, my gravy is calling for a half a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Where's that? Right here.
Poultry seasoning is vegan, but it's named after, or because it's the seasoning mixed in with stuffing and put inside a turkey. So that's why it's poultry seasoning. So I'm doing a mixture of shiitake and cremini mushrooms with the portobello. These are all going into the blender, so they don't have to be chopped small. Just slices will work. Unless you want a chunky gravy, if you want a little bit more of a chunky gravy, then you can either still slice them and have larger pieces in your gravy, or dice them up and have little pieces of mushroom in your gravy.
All right, I'm down to my second to last ingredient.
Done too. The recipes are in the comments. If you just scroll up a little bit, the fabulous Selena, who is actually under the name I Thrive, she posted the comments or the recipes for us. So look for the I Thrive comment that has all of the recipes in it. And those are links to the recipes on my website. You can scroll down, when you get to the website, scroll down, and underneath the recipe there's a button to print the recipe. It'll open up the PDF and you can download and print it.
Half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper.
You don't have to measure it out, just put how much you want. It's easier to measure when you have finely ground black pepper.
It's my gravy. Can't wait. Looks so good. Let's take a look at what she's doing on the stove.
So I just added a little bit of water to this pan because of the garlic was some of that garlic was stuck on the bottom, and I wanted to bring up that garlic so it didn't burn. So I just added a little bit of water so I could really scrape the bottom of the pan and get it all mixed in.
Hi, Belle. Belle just got here.
Glad you're here. We're
Thanks,
only
Belle.
halfway. So you haven't missed too much. You can go back and watch the replay. What's next? Everything's added to our dressing here. So
Dressing, gravy.
Gravy.
It's our cream mushroom gravy.
Yes. If you cool it and make it a little bit thinner, it could be a dressing, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you're going to do that, add more vinegar, less nuts. Okay, but this is going to go onto our base of the blender. We'll blend it up before adding our veggies to make sure that the cashews are fully creamy.
Did you answer if it was for 4 to 6 people?
Oh, it depends on how much gravy you like. The recipe says that the gravy is for 4 to 6 people. Does that make sense? John could probably make this for 2 people. I mean, his serving sizes. So,
What is the best vegan turkey
Carla,
substitute?
I'm glad you're excited to make it.
What's the best vegan turkey substitute for a roast? Meat organic.
I'm thinking you actually mean something like a field roast, and in that case, I don't have a favorite because so much of them are highly processed. So I don't know the specific brand, but I know like Tofurkey has a brand. There's just so many other ingredients added. It's not a very whole food ingredient, those field roasts. So what I would recommend is making something like this, a veggie loaf. You could make this recipe into a veggie loaf, or Kathy Fisher has an excellent meat or veggie loaf. And Dr. Greger in the How Not to Die cookbook also has a fantastic loaf. So there's 3 options if you want to do a big loaf. Otherwise, there's some other choices too we can talk about. But let me blend this real quick. Silence your devices if you wish.
Hey,
Okay.
Katie, talk for a little
Diane
bit about
says-
efficiency. Holly, who's in the course, or she's in your plant-based cooking 101 course right now.
Yes, she just started a few weeks ago.
She said, let's remind ourselves how much time seasonal cooking always takes. But this way of cooking, throw it all in, blend it up, and bake it. It's not so hard.
That is so true. Holly, thank you for pointing that out. We're here in the kitchen and it's taking time, but in comparison, it really doesn't take that much time. If you're making a big turkey and a lot of the other holiday dishes, we're making those days in advance you're getting them started. So this is actually easier, and the cleanup is so much better with plants than with animal products because you don't have all the oil and the bacteria from the meat and the cheese. Everything is just more sticky and oily, and it takes a lot longer to clean up than our plant foods. And what you're eating here can go, a lot of what we're doing you could do in larger batches, and then you can have it throughout the whole weekend. It doesn't have to be, just that one meal. Just as if you were making turkey or mashed potatoes your traditional way, you make a whole bunch of it and then it will last you longer, or you have more meals from that one time in the kitchen. So I'm going to add our onion and mushroom here. Oh, we didn't add the celery. Oh, he already added the onion. Onion and garlic is already in here. We're going to add the mushroom. Oh my God, these mushrooms look so good. I have to show you. I would eat mushrooms just like this. Yummy. So another idea for a big Thanksgiving meal, I'm going to give you two different options that I am actually considering for our Thanksgiving vegan entree. John, if you wouldn't mind posting, you go to the culinary gym and grabbing the links. The first one is the shepherd's pie. You get shepherd's pie on the culinary gym.
Really?
So shepherd's pie is made with lentils and veggies on the bottom. My shepherd's pie, lentils and veggies on the bottom, and then mashed potatoes on top. And that's kind of a traditional shepherd's pie, but without the beef at the bottom. We're using lentils instead. But for the holidays, you could do, if you wanted to, do standard mashed potatoes or do sweet potatoes instead, or squash even, or mashed
How do you spell
squash.
shepherd?
Shepherd.
I'm searching for it and I can't spell. A lighter plant-based shepherd's pie with rainbow
Oh
veggies.
no, that's a summer one.
Oh.
Go backwards. French lentil, it's called French lentil shepherd's pie. I'll put the link in the comments. What I would recommend is adding cranberry sauce below the potatoes. So you do the lentils and then a little bit of cranberry sauce, which I'm going to show you how to make. The lentils mixed with veggies, any veggies you like. Lots of mushroom and onion would be delicious. And then you add a layer of cranberry sauce and then the potatoes on top. And if you want a little sprinkle of nutritional yeast on top of that, that would be a fabulous casserole dish for Thanksgiving. Will you put half of these in that pan and turn it
Hey,
on?
Selena, would you post in YouTube? I think the post you made with the links was in Facebook, which is good, but the YouTube folks will need them.
So we're sauteing up the celery that didn't get cooked yet, and then we're going to add that to the gravy.
Half of this?
Yes. The other part of that, a little bit more. Oh, the rest of our celery that was diced yesterday is going to go into our salad. So many options. I hope I'm not overwhelming, but I just want to give you guys so much. There's so many fantastic recipes to make, and I'm just giving you a couple of our healthier versions so you can keep your recipes very nutrient dense enjoy all the flavor, but not be overstimulated, where then you're going to want lots of, just kind of continue with that pleasure trap food throughout the whole holiday weekend and then all into December. The other recipe I wanted to share, John saw last night, was tempeh cutlets. Our tempeh cutlets, I was inspired by a recipe I had growing up. It was pork chops with mint we did have a little bit of mint jelly on there, but pork chops with apple and raisin gravy. And that is really delicious. So I made it with tempeh instead of pork chops, but it's an apple and raisin gravy, and that would be an excellent dish to use for the Thanksgiving meal as well, or any time over the holidays. So John's going to give you that recipe in the comments as well. Oh, I need a little bit of water. Let me grab some water. Any questions in the comments? So how is everyone doing?
Did you get to these ones? What varieties of squash can you eat with the skin? And you already talked to Sandra about the veggie loaf recipes.
Again, in case you missed it, veggie loaves from Dr. Greger and Kathy Fisher are excellent. Oh, thanks, Rosie. She says she loves the way we work together.
I know, I saw that.
What was
Cher doesn't have access to tempeh.
You could order it frozen online, maybe. But it's hard to... Have you checked your grocery stores? You might be in a food desert and really not have access, but often there is a grocery store around. You just got to look and go in and ask someone in the grocery department, not the produce department, someone in the grocery department if they have it. If not, you can request it and just make sure they let you know when they get it in so you can purchase it.
Where are you from, Joan?
The skin, which squash can you eat with the skin on? You could do, John, you didn't turn this on. Turn it on. Make sure you start showing the squashes. The butternut and the delicata. Okay, so squash real quick. This is the delicata squash. The skin is good. John, I served it the other day. He wanted the skin off because it's harder to chew. But the skin is very edible and delicious.
Sometimes, no, it was just that one. The other 3 times we've made this delicata, the skin on was great. And it was sweet.
Depends on what
like
you do.
Candy. This was like candy roasted.
We've roasted it. And
so just chopped it in slices and cut it in half and laid it on its side, and they're like little, I don't know, they were like little candies.
There's 2 different ways to make it, and if you just cut it long ways and put half of this on the pan, the skin can kind of get leathery. He didn't like the skin that way, but if I cut them into half moons, little half moon pieces, the skin is more edible because it's already cut.
She's from Toronto, Canada. There's tempeh in Toronto, I guarantee it, because you're friends with them.
Yeah, but it depends where you are in Canada, just like where you are in
Toronto.
Oh, Toronto.
I said Toronto.
Toronto is an amazing.
That's like one of the biggest cities in the world.
For vegan eating. So definitely there's tempeh.
Yeah.
Butternut squash, don't use the skin. Not so good on butternut squash. The kabocha squash skin is really great though. This looks really earthy and dark, and it is earthy, but it's delicious.
There's 3 Whole Foods markets in Toronto.
Okay. Next up, we're going to show you our mashed potatoes. Can I show you the mashed potatoes? We've got the Instant Pot. You stir the celery real quick.
Oh, Joan. Stir the celery?
Yeah, what if we turn this around now? Should we show them the Instant Pot here?
Yeah. I lose my stir. This is like the 3rd stir. Gotta wash my stir. This one's got some mushroom stuff on it. This one's got
That's
some
okay, it's going to go in the
stuff.
same recipe.
Okay.
Same recipe. So I have mashed potatoes cooking, actually already cooked in the Instant Pot. So I just unplugged it, but I set the Instant Pot to manual. Instant Pot, actually John did this for me this morning. We set the Instant Pot to manual and then filled it with our potatoes that were diced up. So here's a Yukon Gold potato. We have more somewhere. We just did the little butter Yukon Gold potatoes, yellow potatoes, and chopped them into like 1-inch pieces. And then we put those chunks into the Instant Pot and filled the water up halfway. So I'll show you what it looks like. Then we filled it with the water and cooked it in that water for 5 minutes under pressure. And now that it's done, we can easily mash it. Except I don't have a masher, so John's going to mash it with a fork. Which will take a little bit of time.
And it's a bent fork. Don't give me a bent fork.
But if you had left the water in there, it would have been a little easier.
This is my punishment.
So he drained out the water when you didn't need to. I put the water in there low enough where you actually want to save all of that water because it has lots of nutrients from the potatoes. So you don't need to drain out the water. You want to keep some of that cooked water in there. And I added a little, just, less than what are you doing?
It looks really watery.
Let me see. You might have added too much. Turn it back on, Daniel. So it's a little bit more difficult to be directing John in the kitchen and be live with you guys. So let me show you what this looks like. Our potatoes here, they might have a little more water, but if you turn this back on the Instant Pot, or if you were on the stovetop too, you can let some of this water evaporate, but it does get soaked up too with the mashed potatoes. So we're going to add a little bit more milk. So we're going to actually strain out this water, which is what John was going to do, but you want to be careful because you don't want to lose the mashed potatoes. And then we can add a little bit more milk if we want more moisture. Hope that makes sense. Makes sense? Let me see. So what I would do, I'm a little bit of a control freak sometimes. But I wanted you guys to be able to see this so you can do it. If John did it at the sink, you wouldn't see it. I don't want to lose too much of the potato, so I'm going to put it in here. That way we don't lose the potato. John's idea, yes. But you don't want to lose that much water. Just that amount. Not much. Because that water is going to make it easier to mash. Okay? John doesn't like me telling him what to do.
Chris, hey Chris. Chris is saying hi from Michigan. That's your stomping grounds.
Where's
Katie.
Michigan? Where in Michigan?
Chris, where are you in Michigan?
I lived in Detroit suburbs, Farmington Hills, Livonia.
Chris has been taking notes and saying for the wonderful menu and other suggestions, and your Thanksgiving should taste wonderful this year when I follow your recipes.
Yes. So glad to hear that, Chris. What kind of milk would you use? A non-dairy milk. And I would use soy milk because one is usually the healthiest as far as not having other added ingredients.
Organic.
And 2, it doesn't have any, it's not a nutty flavor. So the soy milk is more of a neutral flavor for the mashed potatoes, but you could do other milks as well. Oat milk, rice milk would also work if you don't want to do soy. But with the soy, organic, and one that was only water and soybeans. Let me show you it.
Share, I posted the lentil shepherd's pie recipe there. Do you see it? Just scroll up. I just posted it a minute ago.
So this is the soy milk, unsweetened, and it's only soybeans and water, organic soybeans and water. If you don't want to do milk, if you're looking for a lower fat option, you could do a vegetable broth, homemade or a store-bought one. Just look for low sodium and ideally with no oil added. This one doesn't have any oil added, Pacific, low sodium. And this would help make the potatoes more flavorful as well. But what we're going to do is add in some garlic. We have garlic powder. Normally I do garlic granules, but for some reason we have garlic powder. So I'm going to add a little bit of this.
Let me add in some cashew
to our potatoes. John says cashew milk. Actually, that's a great idea. Instead of soy milk, you could do cashew milk. I wouldn't buy it though. I would have it homemade.
How do you make homemade cashew milk?
Which I made last night for our dressing, our salad dressings. You're going to learn how to do this in PC 101, how we make salad dressings. But this is a little cashew milk, just water and cashews blended. And I can add a little bit of this to our potatoes. We didn't add any soy milk, right?
No.
So I'm going to add a little cashew milk to our potatoes. Ooh, nice and creamy. It's kind of like butter and milk at the same time. And we're going to add black pepper. Oh, a little bit of the salt-free seasoning. And a little bit of nutritional yeast here. A little cheesiness. And then black pepper.
That smells so good. I wish you could smell this.
Now, you don't want to add salt to the potatoes because you have to add so much salt to potatoes to notice it. It gets lost in the potato. So if you do want to add a little bit of salt, add it once it's already served. Don't mix it in. All right, that looks like some yummy whipped potatoes. I love it. Thank you, John. We're almost done. We just got to do a cranberry sauce and a salad dressing, and then we've got a big feast. We'll check our loaf and Swedish meatballs soon. Swedish lentil balls. Hey, John, no dishes. It's making too much noise. Thank you. It's so helpful to have someone in the kitchen who does the cleaning. If your partner is not on board with this lifestyle, you could either ask them to just do the cleaning for you, and it makes all the difference in the world. Or if you're the one that would rather do the cleaning and your partner's the great chef, tell them, if you help me make the food the way I want it, the plant-based food, I promise I will help you in the kitchen cleaning up. It makes such a difference. Teamwork.
Chris is from South Bend. Do you know where that is?
Yes, not too far, suburb of Detroit too.
Cher can't get Yukon Gold potatoes either.
Martha says I'm signed in but don't see the links. You're signed in where? Not sure what you mean.
Oh, she doesn't see the links in that. She's in YouTube and she doesn't see the links. I guess, Selena, if you could just post some instructions there. Martha, if you scroll up, Selena's going to post the links after the live.
So our celery is done. What I don't recommend doing is trying to do a live video like this while cooking because our celery doesn't look burnt. It's not burnt, but it's a little darker than I would normally do. And we did this in like 3 different batches when normally you can do the celery, onion, garlic, and mushrooms all together. Okay, now I'm going to pour this into the blender, and then we will blend up our dressing, and our gravy will be ready. There we go. Okay, so let's put our lid on here. Yes. Please join us in PC 101. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to connect with you guys there. John just shared the link in YouTube. Yes, the Facebook is not fun with comments. The logarithm, however they manage those comments, is really frustrating. They don't show you them in order. So I'm sorry about that. I'm going to turn the blender on, so silence your devices if you want.
Someone wants to review what's in the blender. Can we switch to the cream mushroom gravy? Let's just go over it real quick.
Let's try that again, recipe. So this is the gravy recipe. We've got onion, mushroom, celery, and garlic all sauteed, plus water, cashews, nutritional yeast, rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar is what we used, poultry seasoning, and freshly ground black pepper. And here is what it looks like. But you'll see us pour this onto the potatoes. You'll be able to see it a little more. And this lighting. Will you turn on those lights out there? We should have had those on earlier. It looks fine here, but will you turn on those lights, please? It's by the surface. By the surface. It's better by the surface.
I got it. I'm getting there. Get the other light first.
I'm a little impatient sometimes.
You are.
You know, it helps if people acknowledge that they hear you, right? And then I can stop saying, because sometimes I think he just doesn't hear me. Okay, we are going to make our cranberry sauce. I know, funny. It's expected. What do you expect with a couple in the kitchen, right? So cranberry sauce here. Orange. What I have here, I'm showing that. John's going to get the camera on our cranberry sauce so we can show you what's there. Let me go to our cranberry recipe and we'll actually break it down for you. I already have it started. I just added the cranberries and our water. So I started the cranberries, one package of cranberries, which is about 12 ounces, 12 to 15 dates, depending on how sweet you like it, and water. Add all of those things first and get it going, and then add the oranges. The oranges, if you do 2 oranges juiced, and then save the last orange, the third orange, for the end. Just start with adding the juice of 2 oranges. I'll have John do this for us, if you wouldn't mind. We're going to juice these 2 oranges here, and I'll switch over to so you can see what he's doing at the recipe, at the stove top. That's what the cranberries look like, cooked down. Then you can do it right over the stove. You guys can see it there. So I have the cranberries, water, and dates with 2 sticks of cinnamon. And he's just adding the orange now. The orange is helping to sweeten the cranberries like the dates do as well. So you don't have to add any white sugar or brown sugar to your cranberry sauce. Just dates and oranges.
She's making me squeeze the oranges. I can't use the tool.
We don't have a tool for oranges. It's really, you have to have a uber.
What about those little citrus things?
We do have a tool. We have actually a tool somewhere, but no, we have an electronic orange juicer. We have an electronic juicer somewhere. Okay, do you guys know the story of how I had a downtown storefront culinary school? I had a culinary school in downtown Santa Rosa, and I had all of this equipment, and then I moved, packed up, moved, closed my shop to move in with John. So I have a lot of equipment, but it's not readily available. We have a comment.
Are we using the Instant Pot? It's on.
Oh no, you can turn it off. Okay. Let's go back to here. So we've got cinnamon sticks in there, but if you don't want to do cinnamon sticks, you can just do ground cinnamon to add a little flavor. And fresh mint. we're going to add some fresh mint to the cranberry sauce. And this will really brighten it up. It makes it so unique. Most cranberry sauces don't use fresh mint, but it really adds kind of a lightness and a fresh holiday freshness. It's not fresh like springtime. Mint is a great addition. So we're just going to add this, dice it up, and mince it, and then add it at the end. And it is still good without the mint, of course, if you don't want to do mint. And I think I missed some comments. You guys were, I think you're laughing at me and John.
Yeah. They're making fun of us. These oranges are good.
That's a great part about plants too, is generally you can snack on the food without worry while you're making it. Unless it comes to nuts, then it's pretty dangerous.
Oh yeah, where are the cashews?
I have a nut recipe I want to make for the holidays.
Say what?
Glazed nuts that you can put out instead of candying your nuts with sugar. You can do it with dates, and I have spices and dates, and you can look up that recipe on the Culinary Gym. Look up spice nuts.
I'll post it. Hold on.
Come up. So
Spice nut?
I really want to make it. I'm worried about John overeating too many of them because they're almost addictive. I'm going to chop up this mint, but I'm going back to make sure I don't miss any questions. He is a great partner, Jim says.
All right, I'm going to look up that nut recipe and post it.
I'm hoping people can see the comments. I Thrive. Selena is helping you guys all, so I'm going to let her do that.
Nick Cognito took your class.
Oh, Nick. I missed that.
K-N-I-T Cognito. I don't. Maybe that's just a pen name. But she's saying, yes, your shop was awesome. Took your class there. Oh, Vanessa.
Oh, in person.
Vanessa.
Oh, she saw that in person. Thank you, Vanessa. I really miss that kitchen. But this kitchen is pretty beautiful, too. And I would love to do live classes again, but I'm not sure we'll have the time. And I know John's hungry. I'm hungry, too. Which I would look like this. Okay, I'm gonna chop this mint now, and then we're gonna make a big salad, and that's it. We'll be done. If you're just popping in recently, just joining us, we've already made our Swedish lentil balls. We got to pull them out of the oven soon. We also made a mushroom gravy, a creamy mushroom gravy. We have light and fluffy mashed potatoes and a cranberry sauce with orange and mint, which I'm just finishing up now. I'm going to add the mint. And then we're going to do a big holiday salad. So our mint, you want to add it once the cranberries are cooked. You don't want to cook the mint because just adding it to the warm cranberries will be enough to kind of wilt the mint a little bit and make it nice and fit well with the cranberry sauce. But making this the day ahead of time and then letting it sit in the fridge with the mint and the cinnamon sticks in there is just going to develop the flavor even more. So this is a great dish to make ahead of time for the holidays. And I would do a couple batches because then you can have it throughout the whole weekend. There is a recipe for the lentil shepherd's pie. I think we linked to it, but you might have to wait until the replay because the comments don't work very well in the middle of a live session. But you can also go to theculinarygym.com, and at the top there's a search bar. You can search for the recipe there as well. Okay, I'm going to add our mint to our food here. Let's check this. I'm going to sprinkle this all in here. And stir this up. You don't want to stain your spoon with the cranberry sauce. I think that's a lot.
That's 2 oranges.
That's oranges. So if you add the oranges earlier, I wouldn't have added so much water, but I added a lot of water earlier. So we're just going to let this sit and simmer at low heat to evaporate some of that orange juice. Evaporate some of the liquid. You want the sweetness from that orange juice. Okay. Any questions about that? How fine are you chopping the mint? You saw I minced it, pretty small as you can get it, pretty much. Spiced nuts, Cher says, yes. I add celery to the cranberry sauce. I like that idea, a little bit of saltiness. It's a good idea. There we go. Okay. Okay, I need a little bit of water. Do you want to?
How much water?
No, I have it right here. Let's talk a little bit more about the pleasure trap, the holidays. Enjoying with the family, not lowering your standards.
Well, those are social situations. So social situations, the core factor underneath of that is what I learned from Dr. Doug Lisle, who I interviewed on the series. And we didn't go into that in the series, but that is some stuff that we should really go more in depth with your Plant-Based Cooking 101 course. Since we're going to be cooking there together every week, batch cooking, we can talk about social situations. But the underlying principle of that is that people can feel threatened. I mean, there's just a primal thing going on there that people can feel threatened that when someone's different, they're doing something different. Because it could be, like they're wrong. What if they're wrong? It threatens their value system. A lot of this is going on subconsciously, and people can react in different ways. They can be antagonistic, or they just might be some resistance. But underlying what we want to avoid is in our enthusiasm for how we feel. And I know that when you eat this way and you make these kind of health promoting choices, you start to feel better. Your inflammation is coming down. Your brain fog is clearing. You're losing weight. You're feeling better. And you can't wait to tell everybody that you want to talk to. You're like an evangelist. And I would just say, kind of just be careful in the situations and kind of wait for people to ask you, because they will. I get a lot of comments from people that saying, people are asking them, hey, your eyes you're looking great. Just the way that I look and the way that I feel is my best testimony. But in those social situations, when you're eating like this or making these choices, or maybe you brought your own food or your own salad, it's best just to basically, say, hey, this is just something that I'm trying. This is something I'm doing. I'm not sure that it works. I'm working with my doctor. Just assuring people that you're not really a threat. And you're kind of just doing your own thing. Why are we? Why?
I was just gonna keep going.
Oh, are you showing the cutting board?
Yeah, but now I'm reading comments first.
Okay.
Someone shaped their meatloaf or their veggie loaf into a turkey.
Yeah.
So that's a cool idea if you want to do that too.
So Dr. Doug Lisle has a great video on this called "Going Along Without Getting Along," and it's basically just going along with what the people are saying. Say, hey, yeah, what you have there looks really great. Thank you so much. But right now, I'm just trying this thing for 30 days. So there's a limit on it. People don't think that, or however you want to approach it, but it's just lowering the threat of that to what they call their status. And then driving the conversation somewhere else and just not making it a big deal. And then when they ask more questions, it's just coming from a non-threatening point. I'm trying this, I'm doing this, I'm feeling great. I don't know how it works. You're not the expert, and don't try to be the expert and get into an argument. But
my suggestion too is think about some traditions that you could start that are not around food. Maybe start some traditions too that might be around food, like my mom just sent me a picture of a turkey, a little turkey that was made out of fruit. So you can do fun stuff like that, whether it's for the kids. She mentioned for the kids, and I was like, that's what I want to snack on, is this play turkey made out of fresh fruit. Adding in more traditions like that can be health promoting, and they become traditions that you kind of go to, so your family isn't all about, or you have ways to connect with the family over food that is more nourishing, and then you don't have to get into those kind of discussions as much. If you just have more options that you can do, and bring your own food, and then also make traditions that are not about the food, but more about enjoying the family members, whether it's board games or any type of game or movie, or getting outside and playing in the snow if you have snow around, going for a walk. Lots of ideas. I'm actually going to be sharing a bucket list of ideas that are ways to bring more joy and laughter to the holidays. So if you're on my email, stay tuned for that.
Rosie was just saying there's a vegan chef that shaped a veggie loaf. What?
I just said that.
You did?
Yeah, shaped a veggie loaf as a turkey.
I was busy typing, so I didn't hear that.
Okay. I was going to show you how to cut this orange. Now we're going to make a big salad. If you want to kind of bring the salad stuff over here. First, this orange. The way that I like to do this, you could peel it and cut it and break it into segments. But what I do is chop off the top and the bottom and then slice the skin off this orange. And this is going to go into the cranberry sauce. It's just another way to have sweetness because the cranberries are so bitter that in addition to the orange juice, if you just have a little bit of kind of chunky oranges in there to bite into, it makes it nice too. So you cut it in half and then you can cut these pieces. And by doing it like this, you get a flat surface so the orange isn't moving around on you too much. I'm just going to cut off that little extra white part. Oh, John, I have all of the salad stuff out.
Okay.
I was just saying to clear the space.
All right.
Okay.
Space is clear.
You guys, I don't even know what to say. I'm a little overwhelmed. Our oranges, could you put these in the cranberry sauce?
Sure.
Please. Or you can bring it. Okay, we're going to make our salad here. We have a holiday salad to do. John and I have salads most days. It's our big dinner in the evening is a big salad, and we try to make it seasonal so that we're having ingredients that we can get locally, and they're going to be with the season, which means they're going to have better flavor and nutrition. To start with, we have a big head of lettuce. This is, I think it's like a red leaf lettuce or baby lettuce. They have different names. I'm just going to chop this. Show them this.
It's sweet, buttery. It's like a red butter lettuce. I don't know. No? That's what it looks like.
So just chop this roughly. We already rinsed it. You want to rinse your greens at the very beginning so they have time to dry. Or you can put them into a salad spinner. And check the middle, like look at this, it's got a little bit of red in it, that doesn't look too good, so I'm just going to take that out. Could I have the trash can right there, please? John can dice up our fruit here. We're going to do an apple and a persimmon. You want to dice that up? Let's see him. So salads are low in calories, high in flavor, especially if you make a craveable salad like I teach you to do in our week 3 of PC 101. We go over how to make salads really amazing. They can be one of the best parts of the meal because you get to eat so much of it, so much flavor.
without having it fill your belly, like from a heavy, dense standpoint. So you eat a lot of the salad, but you still feel light afterwards. So I love having a big salad before eating the rest of the holiday meal. And not like right before you eat the holiday meal. Have the salad as a big appetizer, and then like an hour later eat the rest of your meal. So you don't, it's too full to enjoy the holiday meal, the entree, and all of the richness. But you've already had enough salad so that you're not starving when you sit down to the holiday meal, and then you can kind of eat more balanced and feel good about it.
I like fruit and starches in my salad. That was something really new for me.
So gives you a sweetness when you add the fruit, fresh fruit. So we're going to do that with apples. We have apple here. Yep. We're going to do apple, and then this persimmon. Persimmons are fantastic, but you want to make sure that you're using either a fuyu or amagaki persimmon. If you don't have a persimmon, more apple or pear would work. And we have some beets to add. John shredded all of these beets last night, so we love doing a big batch of shredded beets so that they can be used for salads throughout the week, but also can be put into beans and greens in the morning if you wanted to add them. Start your day with some beets is really great, or even added to like a Buddha bowl for lunchtime.
What's a Buddha bowl? Did we learn about that?
Buddha bowl is covered in week 1 of the PC 101. It's one of the core meals, and you get the core meal masterclass in PC 101. So we're going to be talking about our craveable salads and our Buddha bowl there too.
So what?
And the Buddha bowl is just like a vegetarian bowl. Traditionally, it's vegetarian because the Buddhists weren't eating any meat, and so you have a grain on the bottom, a legume, veggies added, raw or cooked, and maybe some nuts or sprouts if you wanted to, seeds, but then you top it with a big savory dressing, or it could be sweet or savory, but a really tasty dressing over your bowl. So we have Buddha bowls of all types. It could be a Mexican, like burrito bowl, or an Asian bowl.
It makes it easy to cook without.
Yeah, they're essential. So that's why Buddha bowls are what we go over in the first week of PC 101, which is Plant-Based Cooking 101. All right, so we have our beets added, apple, we're going to add a persimmon. I'm going to make a little dressing. We can add, so what shall we put in the dressing? Oh, and there's one more thing. We're going to add a little bit of pumpkin seeds. I'm just looking for them. I think John put them away.
I did. Put them in the freezer. Freezer.
Okay, so we're going to add a little pumpkin seeds.
And some persimmons.
And the persimmons. Does your website have a printable version of the recipes? Yes. If you just scroll down underneath the recipe, there's a button to print them. So if you could grab a little mason jar out of the cabinet, we'll mix our dressing in there. What do you want to add to it? Let's put it down. A pear of vinegar, maybe out of the cabinet. So seasoned vinegars are one item that we love for our dressings. This one works really great for the holidays. Pear
balsamic. It's almost gone. I'm going to use the rest of it here. I used it this morning for our breakfast. I'm going to use the rest of it here.
My computer just died, so I can't see any of the, can't answer the comments.
Right there. You can talk to them if you want to answer them. So I'm adding a little apple cider vinegar here to get the rest of that pear vinegar out. And adding it here.
The Scan Pan cookware is very expensive. Is it worth it?
One Scan Pan, the one I use all the time, the 14-inch or the 12-inch, is absolutely worth it. You will use it every day, I promise you. But you can use a stainless steel pan too. It doesn't have to be a Scan Pan. But the Scan Pan just makes it extra easy to cook without oil, and you can do burgers in there. So I mentioned we were going to mix our dressing in here, but I added the vinegar already to our dish. I'm still going to mix a little bit in here. This is the cashew milk I made earlier. This is kind of like adding a little bit of oil. It allows us, gives us that creaminess. And we will add a little more apple cider vinegar here.
Do you go over sauces and dressings at all?
Yes, we talk a lot about sauces and dressings in week 3 and sauces in week 4.
Let's go through. Week 1, kind of just basically PC 101.
Can I finish the salad first?
Yeah.
So I'm just making our dressing here. Now if you wanted to add any seasoning here, you could do that. If you want to add a little rosemary or mint, you could, any really herb or spice if you wanted to add here. I'm trying to think about the holidays though. We don't want to add like red pepper flakes or a hot sauce, what we might normally add for John's spicy taste buds. Instead, I'm thinking here, if you wanted to add a little more fresh mint instead of just the cranberry sauce, if you wanted a little more having the mint in the cranberry, but also in the salad, that would be a tasty option. Fresh herbs are always great. Or you can leave it as is. You don't need any extra herbs because there's so much flavor here already. Do you want to say anything about salads? Anything to add?
No, I love it. I mean, the salads, I actually crave salads now. I never thought I would crave salads. And adding the fruit, and fruit and starch for me was key in making my salads almost taste like a stew. I don't know. I just really
normally we would add, if this was just a normal dinner.
But where I got mashed potatoes?
If this was a normal dinner, we would add beans or maybe roasted sweet potato or white potato, or with the holidays, maybe some delicata squash, roasted or steamed. And to make this a heartier salad, like John's saying, then it doesn't feel just like rabbit food when you have a little more heartiness like that. So this is the perfect amount of dressing for me. I know John likes a little bit more, so he could mix up just a little bit more dressing. How is it?
It tastes good.
But you know what? You could normally, if this was our dinner, I'd mix up a little bit more dressing. But we're going to have our rich potatoes and lentil balls and gravy. So I'm going to leave the dressing in our salad as is. We can have this on the side of our holiday feast. Do we pull out the lentils and see how those are doing? Dee says she used to hate salads and now she craves them. So she agrees with John.
This is craveable food, right? Take a look at this nut loaf.
Ooh, that is fantastic. Let's show them like this.
Show them what you. Yeah.
Actually, the parchment paper is really great for removing something like this from our tray. We can put it like that. It just took out one of the little meatballs. You can cut into it.
How are they?
And see how these look. And the loaf I would put back in the oven too. So would you mind pulling that back over here?
turned the oven off.
We turn it back on.
What temperature?
375. Okay, so our balls here, they are cooked, but you could let them go a little bit longer so they are a little bit sturdier. They taste really good. And they're good like this too, but just a little bit more sturdiness, so maybe 5 to 10 more minutes and they'd be even better.
Let me try.
And the loaf, I'm just going to put this back in the pan and put it back in as well.
Oh man.
And if you don't want them browning up more on the outside, you could cover them. But a little bit more browning on the outside will also make them sturdier too. So let's put this back in too. Good.
He's from Brady Island. Where's that?
Bray, like Bainbridge? Devin, where are you? Is it just Breby Island? Where is that? Pesto potato salad sounds fantastic too. Sounds really good.
And another thing, seasonally, in the salad.
Oh, pomegranate. Do you want to open that right now?
Pomegranate. I would love to have a pomegranate in my salad more than anything.
All right, open it up, baby.
All right.
I'll talk about the course as you do that.
Yeah.
I need a little bit water first though. So tell them how you're going to do that.
Hold on. I'm going to wash this knife off.
Pomegranate seeds you can buy de-seeded or just do it at home. I mean, you
Yeah,
can buy
don't.
the seeds at home
Okay.
at
So
the
for
store.
pomegranates, forget buying them already de-seeded in those little jars. They've been sitting there. Sometimes they start to get a little sour. They're not sweet. You want them fresh.
But you could buy them if that's your only option.
You could, but it's not worth it. Just listen to me. Look, just buy the pomegranate. Just get used to how to get the seeds out of here. It's no big deal, and it is so worth it to have fresh pomegranate seeds. Observe. Okay. I'm just going in about 1/4 inch. Look at that. Done. Next step, I get a little bowl.
But be careful, all the juice on the can stain easily. So you want to be just aware of that.
More bowls. And a whacker.
Here's the house.
All right. Here's 2 things you need: a bowl and a whacker. Here, give me that bowl. Thank you. It's a bowl and a whacker. Here's your pomegranate. Now you just get to beat it. Give it a good beating.
You're getting them all over the place.
Yeah, a few of them just spun off onto the floor, but that's why you want a bowl with deep sides, because it's going to splatter a little bit. And I hold this down here and just sharp little whacks, and out come the seeds.
He does such a
Look
good
at
job
that.
at that, doesn't he?
They're all out. That's it. And look, it's a party now. It's a pomegranate party. You eat your pomegranate seeds like this. Forget buying those little things. No comparison.
Okay. Can we add it to the salad? You take out the white parts.
Yep. A little bit of the pith, or whatever that's called. Now we're just going to pour this in the salad.
And we will do the next one a little bit later. That'll be our desserts this afternoon. I'm gonna leave a washcloth or something to wipe the board. You want to wipe the board before it stains. I hate having a stained board, and it can stain fast. So
I'm going to mix those pomegranates in the salad.
I'll walk you through what we're going to do in PC 101, our cooking course. We're starting, if you're just joining us, we are going to be going through this online plant-based cooking course together starting December 1st. And we want you guys to join us
We'll
to
see
take
how
your
long that
kitchen
lasts.
skills to the next level. What? What lasts? What? Okay. And
That salad. This salad is so good.
I'm going to let John eat that while I talk to you.
Go ahead.
Or you can chime in if you have questions, comments too. The course, 6 weeks, we're going over the foundation of a whole food plant-based diet without sugar, oil, or salt added. So you guys know how to do this. And John's going to be working in the kitchen with me every week to improve his skills, and I'm going to be adding more content to the course as we go through. Little tips and tricks here and there, just so we can kind of round it out even more to help you guys. But it's not only the foundation, there's also advanced techniques added in, because I've learned things over, almost 10 years of doing this, learned more things, and there's no need for you to wait so long to add in some of these easy tricks. Like we make potato waffles. John, me, we love these potato waffles, and you're going to learn how to make them in the course. And I promise you, there's nowhere else you're learning how to make potato waffles.
And those lox that taste like salmon.
Oh, potato lox? Oh, carrot lox.
Carrot lox.
Yeah, we'll cover carrot lox too. I'll talk about how to make those. So there's so much flavor to be had if you know how to do it. And that's what we're going to do in this course. Give you the skills, the knowledge, the confidence to be living this lifestyle and really enjoying it with delicious meals. So it's going to be a lot of fun. The first week, we go over knife skills, the bootable, setting up your kitchen, right, with the right equipment, the pantry, you get a grocery list, all of the kind of starting pieces to living this lifestyle. Module 2, we go over the Instant Pot and making grains and legumes, how to make them super easy. I give you cooking charts. We actually have, show them the cooking charts right there. We have printables, a couple dozen printable handouts for you to use when you're in the kitchen. Make it really easy for you, and you can actually print them out and hang them up. We're going to put these right on the inside of our cabinet doors. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and you get these really cool handouts to help you, so you don't have to Google or search in a cookbook for everything. This is a grocery list. So week 2 is the Instant Pot, grains and legumes. Week 3 is the big craveable salad with salad dressings. And we're talking about flavor, not using sugar, oil, and salt, how to get lots of flavor from herbs and spices instead, and some other key ingredients that will give you lots of flavor. And then week 4, we talk about roasting vegetables, making them extra delicious with roasting. And we do sauces, how to make really flavorful sauces, which really take any dish to the next level if you can get that sauce right. And then week 5, we talk about tofu and tempeh and how to make them flavorful and go into different cuisines. So ethnic dishes, we do Indian and Italian. We give you lots of ideas for ethnic dishes and how to combine your herbs and spices, like what makes a dish Indian versus Mexican. So we'll talk all about that in Module 5. And the last week, Module 6, is the richest. We go into fats, nuts, and seeds and making dishes creamy. You can do that with the nuts and seeds or coconut or avocado, but I also teach you how to make it creamy without using any fat. So you can do fat-free creaminess. So Module 6 is all about that. We actually have several recipes that are ice cream recipes for you. Non-dairy ice cream, a cheesecake, brie, like a real vegan brie that tastes delicious. There's just so much in this course. So I really want you guys to join us because it makes a plant-based lifestyle so much easier when you know how to do it in a way that's easy, convenient, and flavorful, right? Let's see some of your comments here.
Yeah, there's some people that had already taken the Plant-Based Cooking 101 course, and they were wondering if they can take the class again, or if do they have access to it, or is there going to be anything extra? One of the big extra things is us live. If you follow with us every week, we're going to kind of get you guys to do your batch cooking every Sunday.
Yes, that's a brand new offer. We haven't done that before, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we also have a bonus of John and me in the kitchen showing you our normal, kind of an average breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you get that bonus. And the dessert cookbook. I have a dessert cookbook with over 60 whole food plant-based dessert recipes that are free of all refined sugar, oil, salt. So that's going to be really yummy, especially for the holidays. And you get access to my Core Meal Masterclass. The Core Meal Masterclass is priced at $60 right now, but it's easily a $100 course. It's 10 different core meals. You've seen the greens and beans core meal. Some of you may have seen the Buddha Bowl core meal, but the Core Meal Masterclass has 10 different core meals, and you get a video training for each one. I'll walk you through the template and show you how to use it. So there's a lot there. And if you've taken PC 101 before, you can indeed go through it again with us. You have lifetime access, but you just have to let me know that you want to get kind of the emails and engagement from us so I can keep you in the loop. So let me know if you're in PC 101 and want to go through it again. Just email us, support@theculinarygym.com. And I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be going through it and adding some new content too. Tips and tricks here and there. And we have a forum, a community forum where we're going to be engaging with you guys, answering questions. People can post photos. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Joni was saying that she's never seen how to get the seeds out of a pomegranate with the whacking it before.
John did it such a great job. He's been practicing.
And Tammy Glaver, she posted the best way to open and seed a pomegranate. Tammy, I hope it's the way I did it. I can't imagine a better way, but I hope it is. Anyway, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah. But when you're whacking that little guy, you're not going to be gentle. It's if you flick your wrist and give it a good snap, like snapping a towel, and it just gives it up.
Yeah.
You can tell, I love getting my pomegranate seed.
He does. He likes it way more than I do. I think I care about the juice too much, getting things dirty. But someone was asking about beets, how we shredded our beets. I personally like putting the beets into a food processor. Again, beets are a messy thing, and I want a lot of them. So I like doing them in a food processor using a grating blade, which we'll show you in the course. But John uses a handheld grater, and he was actually reading a book while he did that last night. I don't know.
I made a lot of shredded beets.
So you have a couple options. You figure out what works for you. Everyone has a different style.
It was soothing.
Let's plate up, pull out our lentil balls again, and we'll make a plate. We'll show you guys what this looks like. And thank you all for joining us too.
A layer of skin has come off where I cut my fingertip off.
Oh, I forgot to look at that. What?
A layer of skin just came off.
That's really...
It's healing. It's all pink and nice underneath.
Really exciting, and...
I thought I was going to lose that tip and not be able to feel, and I wanted to play guitar.
I want to put a Band-Aid on it, though, because the skin is so fresh now.
It is. All right.
So thank you guys for joining us. We're going to plate the dish if you want to stick around for a few more minutes.
Yeah, let's plate it up.
I wanted to just answer, though, about the comments. Making noise. Sorry about that. I will figure that out, how to silence the pop-in notifications. Thank you for reminding me. So we're going to start with some mashed potatoes here. So
The cranberry sauce is looking good over there. Check it
we
out.
stir that. That's it.
Yeah. Look how good that cranberry sauce looks.
Stir it.
Stir it.
Look appealing.
Looks appealing right now.
No, you stir it. It looks better. And that's going to go on top of this dish, or on the side of our mashed potatoes, lentil balls, and gravy. Okay, you think?
All right. We're going to plate this up. Here it comes.
So we'll add just a few of these balls on top. I'll do some of the smaller ones. My bowl here. John gets the big ones. Get him another one. And we will add some gravy on top. Get our salad bowls here. Now, ideally you'd have the mashed potatoes a little warmer and the sauce a little warmer, since we've been talking and it's taken us longer to make all of this. It's not super hot, but it'll still be delicious. Yeah. I like less sauce than John does, I think. So maybe more for him. Oh, great, Karen, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to work with you. Karen just joined PC 101. And you guys are getting $100 off right now by joining, plus all of those bonuses if you want to get in with us. So that time, the expiration on that special is November 30th, because you're going to start December 1st, right after the holidays. And if you can't start with us or don't want to start with us, you don't have to start right then, but that's when we're going to be.
That's when we're going to be live every week for 6 weeks. And we're getting a head start on the new year. We're already going to be, even, you don't have to be perfect. Even you're going to go to your family or whatever, but even if you just start now, start building the habits, start with the class, start making some of these meals. How many meals or calories could you replace with a delicious, health promoting meal in the next 6 weeks by the end of the year? It's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
and your body will love it. You'll have a jump start on the new year.
Exactly what he said. Even I like starting December 1st instead of January 1st, because over Thanksgiving, a weekend is enough time for me to just kind of have the richer meals, and then I get to get ahead of everyone else. So I'm feeling better January 1st instead of feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that for the last month. But with anyone who's just getting started with this lifestyle, or if you've been doing it but not doing it as kind of as an advanced cranberry sauce.
No, they like the pot.
Oh, the pot is a big pasta pot. I don't know the brands, but a big pasta pot.
Stainless steel.
But what I was saying is you can learn and develop more of your techniques and habits over December. So if you wanted to, you could just be learning and educating yourself over December, and then you'll be ready to really commit to a new resolution or your plan the way you want to do it January 1st, right? It'll be easier to start January 1st if you're already kind of getting your feet wet and learning more in December.
Oh, Karen's worked with Dr. Furman. Dr. Furman is a good friend. I love Dr. Furman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's cooked with him at Aspen.
Oh, fun! I was just telling John I want to go to Italy with Dr. Furman.
I know.
And Beverly just joined us. Awesome, Beverly. You Delicious Living and PC 101. Delicious Living is our my live cooking show every Thursday. So look at that. We've got a big salad here and our warm meal. Honestly, I think we might eat our mashed potatoes and gravy before the salad because we don't want it to get too cold. But
all right, so we're gonna eat lunch.
yes, thank you guys for joining us. Let's show them the plate again. Actually, where's our phone? Let me show them the phone.
Oh yeah.
Again, join us for PC 101. The link is in the comments. If you just scroll up a little bit, you'll see a link to join us. Or if you go to theculinarygym.com, in the menu bar, you'll see a link to join as well.
You have to switch it to the phone.
Oh. There we go. There you go. You show them. How's my...
Hold it over the plate.
Trying to go in up closer. Give you a... What about you?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Cher. Oh, Cher got a 404 not found on the spicy nuts when she clicked.
Oh.
I might have not copied the link properly. Just go to the Culinary Gym.
Let me do it for you fast. So, let's just, I'm going to pull it up, grab it for you. The link, you might have been talking about the PDF version, and if that ever happens, you can just email me. Some of the recipes didn't come through from our old website, the PDF, so I have to just update them.
She's looking it up right now.
Irresistible spice nuts, that's what they're called. And I'm going to put it in the Facebook comments right now. You can put it back on once. Show them. Oh. Let's see. I'm going to see if the PDF opens. That might have been what you were talking about. Yep, the PDF is the 404. Okay. So I just need to update that.
Just check back in a day or two.
Yeah.
Get it updated.
Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to sit and eat. And if you have any questions about the course, email me, support@theculinarygym.com. Thank you so much for being here. Just looking at our comments to see if there's any last minute questions.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll put it on YouTube as well. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Karen, for your comment on docuseries.
I Thrive series is so great. Can't wait till it makes the next one.
I know.
We'll be checking in with you guys throughout the week, encouraging you to join too. So let us know if you have any questions about, what's involved, or you're confused about the timing or anything like that. Just email me, support@theculinarygym.
And we'll put that in there too, so you can email her directly.
Yes, and I will. We together will be starting December 1st. So I hope you join us. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Go enjoy your day. Have a delicious weekend. Bye, everyone.